The thing that struck me about the US when I got here was the open space.
It's one of my favorite signs.
This is something with the Palestinian people that we have never seen before. You live in a confined place, and for every going from inside within your own town, you have to have a permit to go. If you live in Seattle and yes, say you live in the Northgate neighborhood or area, to go from Northgate to Lake City, you have to have a permit from the Israelis. To go from Northgate to downtown, you have to have a permit. And don't even dream about going from Seattle to Tacoma.
Yeah, today it's going to be a little challenging. Hopefully we'll get maybe a couple of more people. I picked just a big band with the embassy of Gaza. And we'll just go there and take some flyers.
Okay.
When I came here, I thought Americans hate us. Just hated the Palestinian people, because of their support of Israel. What I found out that American people have no idea about Palestine or even the Palestinian people. You're telling them a story about your family and the suffering of the Palestinian people, and you'll see them changing. We feel that we're working against this big machine, the media machine and the government, presenting Israel as a victim. There's a little tiny country with 5 million people against this sea of hatred, and it's not true. Israel is the strongest country in the Middle East. Israel has the fourth strongest army in the world.
Scenes that echo a great war nearly a century ago.
It is the innocent that are falling here.
Amin is really a true person that, I would put in front of any audience to be able to talk, because he's talking from the heart. From lifelong experiences that have happened to him and family members and friends, people will listen. Some people will join and then leave. Amin is the dedicated. He's always there, rain or shine. He'll be down at Westlake Mall. He'll be talking. He'll be giving lectures, regularly, probably 2 to 3 times a week.
I was born in Aida camp in the West Bank.
Amin lived in a refugee camp. His parents were exiled there in 1948, and I know it was difficult for them because in the camp they were in, they could actually see their home that they had been thrown out of by the Jewish state that was developing.
My dad drove a taxi cab all his life, and my mom did not work. She stayed home and took care of us. Typical, this is what every Palestinian child grows up to see. Soldiers. In my case, you see them, beating up your dad, dragging your brother away or shooting your cousin. This is the childhood that I went through. And to me, this is how, you start forming this feeling about the occupier. I mean, you don't know their religion, you don't know their background, you see them in uniform, those bad people in uniform with machine guns, and you start resenting them, not because of their religion, not because of their ethnic background or color of skin. It's just bad people, and they come in military vehicles and they do this to your people. Israel started building the Israeli wall, or the apartheid wall. That took a big chunk of land that we owned and my family owned around the city of Bethlehem.
because it's not about converting people. It's not about forcing people to believe what you believe. It's you're here to tell them your side of the story. So if they're just ignorant about the issue or not aware of it, you can introduce it to them. But if they already have their own agenda, you can present your side and then kind of walk away. But it's a waste of time to get upset about it, trying to convince them.
We don't have much hope right now. I mean, the borders still aren't open. You're still not getting humanitarian aid in. So, Amin realizes that we have to do a lot more work here. And it has to be done in the U.S. to help educate people.
I think one of the beauties about Amin is that he doesn't expect change to occur yesterday. He understands that we're not a Polaroid society and that change is a process. And I think that as someone who's been participating in this movement for a very long time, and all of my time in Seattle, which has been 17 years, I can tell you that I have seen what now appears to be a really great change, which I know has been occurring over the years in imperceptible pieces that could not even be recognized, but has made an enormous difference in the response of people to what's happening in Israel and Palestine, including the Jewish community.
It was a room full of maybe 30 or 40 people. This older gentleman who was sitting in the front was giving me those looks, and I wasn't sure how to interpret these looks. So when he raised his hand, I was hoping that the moderator of the event will just maybe not take his question at the time. He said, "You know what, I don't have a question to ask. I just want to make a comment." He said, I look at you, and it's my first time meeting with a Palestinian and talking to a Palestinian, but you remind me of my son, and I look at your children, and they look like my grandchildren." And I was shocked. This 65 or 70-year-old gentleman, he fought in the Korean War, and he never heard about the Palestinians. He didn't make the connection that we're also people. It took him to meeting a Palestinian and seeing a Palestinian face to make that connection. And I hear this almost every day.
I think it says on his email, stand up for what's right, even if you're the only one. Unfortunately, I think he's often been in that situation. Certainly, Palestinians have been hoping for change for so long, and he's still there.